The 180 million hectares of tropical rainforest that make up the Congo Basin are the second largest on Earth after the Amazon. But they are under threat. Europe, America and Asia's appetite for tropical wood, combined with endemic corruption in many timber-producing countries, has led to unsustainable logging practices. That demand for timber, together with the clearing of forests for agriculture and mining, are causing deforestation on a scale that risks the destruction of this phenomenal resource. Which is why the EU has been taking action to try and ensure they are not lost.
The European Union wants to be part of the solution in this context. You know that the forests are very important, and European Union citizens and consumers want, to be sure that the wood that is exported to European Union meet the criteria of the legality.
In 2003, the European Commission came up with a system known as the Forest Law Enforcement Governance and Trade Action Plan, or FLEGT for short, which included giving timber-producing countries the option to sign up to voluntary partnership agreements, or VPAs, with the EU. These bilateral trade agreements are voluntary because countries enter into negotiations voluntarily. However, once agreed, they legally bind the timber-producing country to only harvest and ship legally sourced timber to the EU. The negotiations involve the participation of all stakeholders in the partner country, who need to agree on 5 key milestones. A definition of legal timber, taking national legislation into account. How the real-time online tracking or traceability system will work. How the legality and traceability will be verified. When and how FLEGT licenses will be issued. Lastly, independent audit arrangements are made. Independent auditors will check every 3 to 12 months if the VPA works as planned and whether it is effective in guaranteeing legality of timber. The independent audit will provide credibility to the FLEGT licenses once they are issued. Cameroon is one of 6 timber-producing countries to have signed up to a VPA. They are currently in the process of implementing it and are planning to issue their first FLEGT license in 2014.
Le marché européen représente pratiquement 80% de ce qui est bois débité qui sort du Cameroun. Et pour nous, c'était important de nous assurer que ce marché-là doit être acquis. Donc, il est clair que l'APV FLEGT devrait nous permettre effectivement, ne serait-ce que d'avoir la garantie que ce marché soit maintenu. Le secteur forêt, le bois, l'exportation du bois représente pratiquement le 3e secteur après le pétrole et l'agriculture. Et donc, nous avons intérêt effectivement à ne pas avoir de déperdition en matière de taxes.
Deep into Cameroon's East Province, the Italian company Alpicam is harvesting this sapelli tree. Once harvested, the logging company stamps the tree and record information about the log, including its species, diameter, and the exact location in which it was logged. This log's journey towards its final destination in a European home has just begun. Under the VPA, it will be traceable all the way from forest to final customer. Large international companies like Alpicam already have their own traceability systems in place. They also pay their taxes and ensure all workers receive the minimum wage for the forest sector, safe working conditions, and on-site access to healthcare.
Il problema per queste società è che innanzitutto loro vendono a un prezzo più basso perché è un prezzo che non tiene in considerazione di tutti quei fattori, di tutte quelle tasse, di tutti quei costi a partire dai costi di abbattimento, ai costi di trasporto, ai costi poi anche legati proprio alle tasse di trasformazione eccetera. È chiaro che il prezzo quindi è totalmente fuori mercato.
The new system is expected to level the playing field. Once the logs left the mill, it makes its way through various checkpoints on its journey to port. Until now, trucks carrying illegal timber could often bribe checkpoint officials to stamp their papers. But attitudes are slowly changing. Hundreds of controllers at these checkpoints have been trained as part of a project run by the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. For now, they have to verify the timber passing through by comparing its physical characteristics to those on its paperwork. But soon the verification system will be automated.
Avec le nouveau système, avec le PDA, elle est plus facile pour nous. Pourquoi? Parce que déjà, les grumes qui arrivent sont étiquetées avec le code à barre. Et ces codes à barre identifient chaque essence de bois dès la source. Bon, au niveau du checkpoint, nous essayons tout simplement d'enregistrer avec cet appareil PDA qui collecte les données qui est enregistré sur le code à barre. Et dès que c'est enregistré au niveau du code à barre, ça transfère immédiatement au niveau des serveurs.
After having cleared multiple checkpoints, our legally harvested timber finally arrives at the processing plant in the port city of Douala. Here it is transformed into planks for the final leg of its journey to Europe. At the port of Douala, the timber will be checked and recorded a final time before shipment to the EU. Here in Cameroon, the new regulations will not only apply to timber destined for the export market, the Cameroonian government has also decided to include their domestic market. The domestic market makes up 50% of national production and all of national consumption, meaning that it represents significant foregone government revenue when the market is served illegally, which it often is. Here in the village of Mapubi, a logging company has harvested part of the community's forest, but has failed to respect its legal obligations to invest in the local community. This timber would not comply with the requirements of the VPA.
Nous voulons que le village en profite par les actions humanitaires. Parce qu'ici au village, il n'y a pas de point d'eau, il n'y a pas d'électricité. Les hôpitaux, nous parlons des centres de santé. On ne peut pas parler des hôpitaux au niveau du village. Il n'y a rien.
Cameroonian NGO FODA has trained an independent forest observer in this as well as several other villages around the country to monitor and denounce illegal logging activity. But their numbers are tiny compared to the size of the country. And the Forest Service, whose job it is to verify what's going on in each of Cameroon's 102 forest concessions, does not have sufficient manpower or equipment to do the job properly.
L'un des principaux défis de la mise en œuvre de l'APV FLECT, dont le but est d'éradiquer l'exploitation illégale, est la corruption. La corruption est la base de l'exploitation illégale des forêts. Et cette corruption-là affecte la société camerounaise de manière générale. C'est un problème qui est systématique et carrément endémique au Cameroun. Et nous pensons que si les opérateurs des systèmes qui sont mis en place à travers l'APV FLECT ne sont pas suffisamment intègres, ces systèmes ne pourront pas efficacement fonctionner.
Je pense que le gros défi que nous avons, c'est de nous trouver un outil fiable, capable de rassurer celui qui va acheter un produit bois du Cameroun qu'il est effectivement sorti d'une forêt gérée durablement. La traçabilité au Cameroun est plus complexe que dans d'autres pays. Le Cameroun, c'est aussi le point de transit pour le Congo, pour la RCA et même bientôt pour la RDC et le Gabon. Donc, nous avons inclus dans notre système effectivement de pouvoir tracer les bois en transit. Donc, ça rendait plus complexe la traçabilité.
The Cameroonian government is still looking for the right traceability system to suit their needs. They also need to take more robust measures to combat corruption. But slowly, they are turning their stated commitment into effective implementation.
Moi, je crois qu'il y a eu des progrès très importants ces dernières années. Mais comme je le dis, les changements de mentalité, il y a un changement de mentalité qui prend du temps. C'est obligatoire. Il y a également des petits défis technologiques qu'il ne faut pas cacher, ils existent, mais ceux-là sont surmontables. Et moi, je suis optimiste. Je pense que je ne vais pas me lancer dans un pronostic, mais je pense qu'à court terme, on devrait pouvoir émettre ici au Cameroun des autorisations FLECT, et très important, des autorisations FLECT qui soient crédibles.
Arriving at the port of Felixstowe in the UK, our sapelli tree is nearing the end of its journey. The importer, James Latham plc, make their own timber products, as well as selling to customers such as this company that manufactures door and window frames that are destined for upmarket British homes and offices. The CEO of James Latham considers FLECT to have important implications for the UK and European timber industries.
The FLEGT license will provide certainty in relation to what is legal in terms of our timber supply. Under the EU timber regulation, we have to carry out risk assessment and then take measures to ensure that our supplies have a minimal risk of illegality. FLEGT will help us prove legality because it demonstrates that the timber has been harvested to meet the national requirements.
VPAs are already signed between the EU and 6 timber-producing countries: Indonesia, Liberia, Ghana, Cameroon, the Republic of Congo, and the Central African Republic. And 9 more are currently under negotiation: Honduras, Guyana, Gabon, the Ivory Coast, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Laos. Whether timber is travelling directly to Europe or through processing hubs in Southeast Asia and then on to Europe, FLEGT licenses are the best way to ensure compliance with the new European Union Timber Regulation, or EUTR, which stops companies from first placing illegal timber on the EU market. Without a FLEGT license, the demonstration of legality will fall on the importing company. And it's not only the EU getting tougher on timber imports. Similar regulations have come into force in the US, Australia, New Zealand, and Japan. If implemented properly, the trade agreements could lead to happier consumers in Europe. They could also help stem the financial loss of between $10 and $15 billion globally due to illegal timber activities, and help ensure tropical forests that are legally and sustainably managed for the benefit of future generations.